Hi everyone, it's Sam Mackay from Enterprise DNA. Okay, today I'm going to go into something quite specific, quite unique, but an interesting one nonetheless around year-to-date calculations. This actually stemmed from a question from the Enterprise DNA support forum. So, and very, but I've seen this many times, and it was really the first one that was asked in the support forum. So, look, I think a video is tutorial around how to solve it is appropriate, and will help a lot of you out there. Now, what happens when you actually utilize the total year-to-date function? It very annoyingly projects a number forward if it is past today's date, or past the current date, or past the last result that you have. So if you are, say, in the middle of the year, it is going to project a number forward from today onwards to the end of the year, but it's basically going to be a flat line number. And so we need to work out some logic which solves that, right? And that's basically what I personally went through in this support forum issue and solved it. And so I'm just going to create a video on it and show you how you can actually do it this way. What I will do is I'll leave a link below to the forum discussion if you do want to review it, and if you do want to actually utilize the support forum, all you have to do is become an Enterprise DNA membership, or purchase an Enterprise DNA membership. So certainly look into that if you feel like you need some support with your Power BI work and projects. Okay, so as you can see here, what happens with, say a simple total sales, right? It actually returns blank for results that don't have a result. And so I've only got a few days into 2018, right? And you'll see here that we go down to the 6th of January. Now, if I'm going to do a simple year-to-date calculation, so I'll go year-to-date sales, and I use the total year-to-date. So it's a very simple function. I mean, it's amazing what they've been able to allow us to use, but big issue. When you go and implement it like this, see, it projects that cumulative total forward, and it basically flatlines that number. And then if I want to make this into a visualization, it just looks absolutely horrible. So if I turn this into a visualization, you'll see here that it's just nothing. Meaningless visualization. Now we need to make this better. Basically, we need to blank out every result which is past the last sale that we have made, right? And so the sales are obviously going to update, but you also want to, you don't want to go just to like today. I feel like you want to actually do it based on the last sale, because you might be over a weekend, and you don't make any sales, or you might have had, say, a public holiday or something like that, and you don't want to see that flat line number. You actually just want to go to the last purchase date. So here's a technique you can use to actually solve that. So I'll just get rid of this one. Now, if I create a formula here, now, first of all, we've got to work out what is the last sale date. Okay, so I'm going to create a variable, but I'll first of all just name it. I'll call this sales year to date. I'm going to create a variable here called last sale date. And then I'm going to use the maxx function. So maxx is a great way to find, say, this very specific thing, especially around dates. It's really helpful. And so I'm going to go all sales purchase date. So we're gonna iterate through every single purchase date, and it's important to do this. And then we're going to evaluate, well, what is the actual last one? So we're going to open up every single purchase date and say, well, what is the last one? Now, if we do not use this, what's going to happen is that the last purchase date is going to be literally the day on every single one of these days, right? So here it's going to be actually this particular day. It's going to be this particular day. So you have to use all here, and what this is going to do is it's always going to find the 6th of January. And that's exactly what we want. We want this to be a constant 6th of January. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another variable here, and I'm going to go year-to-date sales. So I'm going to actually write exactly the same formula that we just wrote before. So I'm going to go total year YTD, and I'm going to go total sales and then dates. And then I'm going to go return, and then I'm just going to write a little bit of logic. I'm going to say, well, if the min date, so basically this is going to be the date. You can use max, you could use last date, there's lots of different things you could use here. I'm just going to use min date in this case. is less than or equal to the last sale date, so if it's less than or equal to the 6th of January in this particular case, then return the year-to-date sales. If not, equal to blank. And so this blank is going to return a nothing value, and that is how we're going to basically filter out or not showcase any of the results past the last day there was an actual sale. So very quick and easy, right? All we had to do was somehow integrate the last sale date in here and then run a little bit of logic through an if statement. Then now, if I actually bring this into my table here, you'll see that this actually cuts off, and then we have all these blank values, which is great, right? Because if you think, if we look at it without this one in between, you'll see that now this is a much more truncated table. And then if we turn this into a visualization, we now have it up to the current last purchase date, or in some cases you could do it to the last date. So hopefully you learned a bit there. You learned a bit about how you can solve things like this. I guess the key thing to think about is that you need to somehow create some logic that gets a blank in there, because the blank won't show up in the visualization. And so when you can think about how you do that, how you can work out how to do that, then yeah, it's relatively intuitive from there. Okay, so as mentioned, I'll leave a link below to the forum if you want to just have a read through the steps that I took to actually get that, and the initial question, etc. And yeah, definitely check out the support forum. Lots to learn there. There's a search functionality if you want to just look through the read-only version. But if you want to actually get support, you do have to become an Enterprise DNA member. Okay, so all best. Hopefully learned a bit in this one. Learned a bit about variables. Learned a little about MaxX, how to solve for these similar issues that you'll find in a lot of cases. If you like the content, certainly throw the video a like. Really appreciate it. And also don't forget to subscribe to Enterprise DNA TV. Okay, all the best. Cheers.